project, you need your yarns, you need your crochet hook. I'll be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. You need your pair of scissors to cut off your yarns, and then you also need your measuring tape as well. So with this, you're going to be able to make your crochet granny square cat ear beanie. So first of all, I'm going to start by making a granny square. First of all, I have a tutorial on how to make a granny square, but for the sake of this video, I'm also going to make a video on how to make this granny square. As I mentioned earlier, you would need to take the measurements of your head before you begin, so you can know how many granny squares you're going to need for this project. So you're going to have to measure around your head like this, or your customer's head, anyone you're making it for, and this is 21 inches. This is 21 inches, so I'm going to divide this by 4 to determine how many inches I'm going to make my granny squares, each of my granny squares. So this is how many here? This is about 10 and a half. Let's say 11. Let's work with 22. So this is 11 is half, and then we divide this by 2 again. So we have about 5 and a half. So this is how many inches my granny squares are going to be. So if you take your measurement here, this is 5 and a half. This is 5 and a half. For each, begin by making a magic circle. For me, I like to make my circles with chains. So this is chain 4. I'm going to insert my hook in the very first chain and slip stitch. Now this is the circle I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to chain up 3, insert my hook in here, and I'm going to make my first double crochet in here, and I'll make my next double crochet and then chain 1. I'm going to make 3 double crochets in this circle, and then chain 1 again, 3 double crochets in this circle, this is making 3 double crochet clusters. This is 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to chain 1 and then make the last cluster here. So this is 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch in the very top chain of my chain 3. I'm just going to chain 1 and I'll cut this. So this is my beginning part of my granny square. I'm going to attach the next color from here. If you're working with 2 colors, if you're working with 3 colors, just alternate them exactly how you want it to be. So I'm going to attach my whites. This is chain 3, and then I'm going to make a corner here. This is 2 and this is 3. So I'm going to chain 1, insert my hook in the very same chain 1 space from before. I'm going to make 3 more double crochets here, and then I'm going to chain, sorry, I won't chain, I'm just going to go into the next corner and make another corner here. So this is 1, This is 2 and this is 3, and I'm going to chain 1 and make 3 more double crochets in this space to get my corner. So I'm going to go into the next, and I'm going to do my first chain 3, my first 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then make 3 more double crochets into this very previous chain 1 space. And then into the next, I'm going to make another 3 double crochets, I'm going to chain 1 and then 3 more double crochets. So here I have all 4 corners ready. I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 3 from before, the top of the chain 3, and then chain 1, and I'm going to cut. So I'm going to come back later to tie and bond these excesses here. So I'm going to go back to attaching the black. I'm going to attach my black from here, and then chain 3. This counts as 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to make 2 more double crochets in this space. I'm going to chain 1 and then 3 more double crochets, and then into this very space here, it's not a chain. I didn't do a chain because I don't want the heart, the beanie, to have a lot of space, so I didn't chain here. I only did my chain at the corner. So this is not a corner, so I'm going to make just 3 double crochets here, and then into the next corner I'm going to make a double crochet cluster, more like a shell stitch. So for this corner I'm going to make, sorry, my yarn is tangled. So I'm going to make chain 1, 3 double crochets, and then into the space I'm going to make 3 double crochets with no corner. So this is what I'm going to do all the way down here, and I'll meet you back. So all you have to do is make a corner here, no corner here, make a corner here, and no corner here. I got to this point, I slip stitch and chain 1, so I'm going to go ahead, cut my work, and then attach the white to the yarn. So this is what we are going to do. I have made this up to this point. This is 1 2 3, this is 1 2 3. So I'm going to attach white, and I'm going to make 2 double crochet clusters without a corner and no chains, and here I'm going to make a corner and then with 1 chain. This is 2 double crochet clusters here, and this is a cluster for the corner that has the chain. So this is what we are going to do until you have the desired length, size of granny square that you need. Now if you want to make it with just 2 granny squares, all you need to do is make this bigger and make the next one bigger. But for this one I'm going to need 8 granny squares, 4 in front and 4 behind. So I have done 7 already. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and I'm going to make the last one, and then we'll come back when we are going to be joining this together. Okay guys, so I am done with all the squares I need. This is 8 granny squares that I need for the granny square beanies. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew all of them together, and I'm going to meet you back once I do. Okay, so after sewing the panels together, this is what the front panel is going to be like. So when you fold it in, you're going to have it like this. So I am going to sew this other panel together and then attach it. To sew together, you place the wrong sides together like this. So you place this side to this side and make sure all the stitches are even. So each one is going into the next until you get to this part. So I'm going to attach my yarn here and start sewing. So I'm going to do a slip knot and attach my yarn from here. I'm going to be sewing with a single crochet on the right side because I like this stitch the way it's popping out here. I didn't use my darning needle because this was what I actually wanted. So I'll be using a smaller hook. You can use 2.5 millimeter or you can settle for 1.75. So I'm picking the first two stitches here and then I'm going to go into the next one from the other side, and I'm going to try to hide this tail here. So I'll pull up the loop. I have two loops here and then pull through both. So insert your hook, insert into the next, pull through and pull through all two. So this is what I'm going to keep doing. Keep going from one stitch to the other until I'm done sewing this. So here I'm going to go into this next one. So I'm inserting my hook here, insert my hook into the next and make a single crochet, insert my hook, insert into the next, single crochet. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going one stitch at a time. So make sure you don't skip anyone. Make sure you don't skip anyone. You're going into the first stitch from the front, the first stitch, the next stitch from the back. You pick the first one here, you pick the next one here. So I'm going to do this until I get to this end, and then I'm going to attach this part. Okay, so I am done sewing the both parts, and I'm going to sew this part and then the other parts together. So you can actually convert this into a tote bag if you want. But yes, we're making a beanie. So I'm going to sew these two sides together and then I'm going to sew this part as well. Yes. So I am almost done with sewing. So I'm going to do this on camera. So I'm going to go ahead, sew each part together. And this is almost the last one. So this is the last, and I'm going to slip stitch with this, and I'm going to go ahead and so this is what it looks like. You can block this before sewing them together, so they're all going to be equal instead of having this puffed part here. So as it stands now, you can convert this into a bag, but we are making a cat ear beanie. So if you want it to be a bag, all you have to do is attach your strap here and then attach your lining inside, and you have a granny square tote bag. So I'm going to do a tutorial on a granny square bag later, but for now this is what we are working on. So